Can you recall all the demons that Tanjiro has killed so far? Here we're going to talk about them one by one. Temple Demon. I'm not sure if this guy counts since Tanjiro didn't actually kill him, but let's talk about him anyway. Tanjiro and Nezuko found him one night while looking for Urokodaki. Tanjiro smelled blood and went running to a temple where this demon had already killed 2 men. The demon tried to attack him, but Nezuko saved him by kicking his head off. The body and the head kept fighting with them separately, but Tanjiro managed to pin the head down to a tree with a hatchet and then pulled the body off a cliff. He almost fell too, but was saved once again by Nezuko. After that, they came back to where the head was. Tanjiro was trying to convince himself to kill this demon with a knife when Urokodaki appeared from behind, telling him that that wouldn't kill it. The only way that Tanjiro could think of besides the knife was by crushing his head with a heavy rock, but he didn't love the idea. He wanted to do it as painlessly as possible. So he just stayed there staring at the demon, trying to think of another way until the sun came up and burnt him, leaving him without any chance to think about something else. Urokodaki was very disappointed, and with this first impression, he didn't believe that Tanjiro was going to make a good demon slayer. 2 first of the final selection. The next demons we saw him kill were the 2 he encountered on the first night we saw him at the final selection. These 2 started fighting over who had the right to eat him, which gave Tanjiro time to breathe and remember his years of training with Urokodaki. He cut their heads off as if it were nothing. The Hand Demon. Right after those 2, Tanjiro perceived the smell of the Hand Demon, who had been captured by Urokodaki and put in Mount Fujikasane where the final selection takes place. He, of course, hated Urokodaki for imprisoning him there and knew that those who owned a fox mask, like Tanjiro, were his students. So he took a special liking to killing them. At first, this demon believed Tanjiro would be an easy target, but he managed to evade all of his attacks and then fly towards his neck and cut it without much effort. During the final selection, Tanjiro tried asking all the demons he encountered if they knew how to turn a demon back into a human, but never got an answer. We officially saw him kill 3 more there. So let's add them to the count. The Swamp Demon. This demon was his first mission right after coming back from the final selection. He was not an easy catch since he could create these puddles that he used as a type of portal to a swamp-like dimension. Not only that, but this demon was able to split into 3 clones. With Nezuko's help, Tanjiro was capable of killing him while not leaving exposed the people who were there with them. Yahaba. In another one of his missions, Tanjiro got to meet Tamayo and Yushiro, and while in their hidden clinic, they got attacked by Yahaba and Susamaru. Tanjiro was able to kill Yahaba thanks to Yushiro's blood demon art that he shared with him, so he could see Yahaba's arrows and respond to them effectively, finally being able to cut his head off. Susamaru was cleverly killed by Tamayo, poisoning her with her kind of truth elixir blood demon art. And then she asked about Muzan. Once Susamaru said his name, she unleashed the curse all demons have, except of course for Tamayo, Yushiro, and Nezuko, that kills them if they spill even just the name of Muzan. So Susamaru doesn't count. Kyogai. When Tanjiro goes on his first mission with Zenitsu, they enter Kyogai's mansion, and thanks to the power of one of Kyogai's drums, they end up losing each other and having to fight certain demons by themselves. Tanjiro had to battle against Kyogai, the ex-lower rank 6. He was already hurt, but managed to find a way to survive Kyogai's attacks and cut his head off. Spider Mom. Tanjiro and Inosuke set up a plan and worked together to defeat the corpse of the demon that Rui's fake mom had as one of her puppets, even with Inosuke's sort of annoying, "there's no way you're better than me" attitude. Although the demon was already beheaded, I would count it as at least half-killing. After they defeated the beheaded demon, Inosuke threw Tanjiro into the sky. He didn't understand why at the beginning, but then he sensed the smell of the Spider Mom, and thanks to it, he could approach her from above and kill her with kindness. When Tanjiro realized that she was receiving her fate literally with open arms, he changed the form of his attack to one way less aggressive. He noticed that she would rather die than keep living with her, absolutely healthy and not at all toxic family. I won't count Spider Dad at all because he only fought with Tanjiro for a couple of minutes before he threw him in the air again. This time to the part of the mountain where Rui was, so Tanjiro decides to stay and handle Rui first. Inosuke, though, is the one who really deserves kudos for surviving Spider Dad. He did everything he could to defeat him, and really saw his life flashing before his eyes and would have died if it wasn't for Giyu, who arrived at the exact moment to save him. And Tanjiro didn't kill Rui either. For a moment, we all believed he did. Even Tanjiro did. But Rui was very clever and cut his own head off before Tanjiro could. After the scam, Rui almost got Tanjiro. But again, Gyu came with his dead calm move and cut Rui's neck as if it were butter. Enmu. So, those don't count, but Enmu definitely did. Apparently, the Demon Moons have a thing for making Demon Slayers believe that they won by cutting their head off and coming back right after and throwing absolutely crazy attacks at them. On the top of the train, Tanjiro cut what seemed to be the head of the lower rank one right after he tried to trap him in a nightmare, in which his family was saying very hurtful things to him. He knew his wholesome, sweet family wouldn't do that to him, so he went furious and slayed Enmu. But he then reveals that his actual body is now integrated with the whole train. Now that Enmu's neck was gigantic, it seemed basically impossible to cut. Not only that, he also had to fight against Enmu's blood demon art, and the immense number of arms and flesh that Enmu used to defend himself. Fortunately, Tanjiro had Inosuke fighting along. They managed to get Enmu's neck bones exposed, but he immediately recovered and increased the power of his attacks. He was using now his eyes of forced unconscious sleep, but thanks to Inosuke's boar head, he was basically immune to it. A little advantage for the team. He left the neck bones exposed again, and right after came Tanjiro with his Hinokami Kagura and managed to cut through them. Now that's a kill worth counting there. Mountain Demon. At the beginning of the Entertainment District arc, the first demon Tanjiro kills is this kind of spider-leg demon that was assigned to him as a solo mission. And again, this demon barely causes any trouble to Tanjiro, now that he's become way stronger since his beginning as a demon slayer. Gyutaro. Remember how I said that the Demon Moons like making demon slayers believe they won and then go extreme mode with their power? Well, the upper rank 6 is not an exception. We see it when Tanjiro is holding Nezuko back from eating some humans, and Daki appears with her scary burned out face ready to attack. Tanjiro definitely doesn't know what to do, but Tengen appears and saves him by cutting Daki's head off before she could attack. Honestly, this one was so easy that it didn't really convince me, and I was right. Her brother, Gyutaro, comes out of her body, gives this talk about how envious he is of Tengen's perfection, and the fight starts again. Zenitsu and Inosuke go behind Daki while Tengen and Tanjiro fight Gyutaro. Well, at first it was Tengen fighting Gyutaro while Tanjiro watched, but after a moment, Tanjiro's performance in the battle kept improving as they were fighting. It seemed like they were winning. Yet when Inosuke tries to escape with Daki's head, Gyutaro stabs him from the back, and from then, everything else just seems to go worse. Tanjiro believes everything is lost, and Gyutaro feeds this belief by pointing out that all of his friends are basically dead, and says that he doesn't have a chance against him. Tanjiro doesn't give up and figures out a plan to try to cut his head off. He fails, but the others surprisingly get back on their feet and start fighting too. Tengen handles everything Gyutaro throws at him. He managed to get Gyutaro kind of pinned down, and Tanjiro goes straight for his head. He didn't have enough strength, but then goes all Demon Slayer Mark Pro mode and slashes his neck, right when Zenitsu and Inosuke cut Daki's head off, finally killing them. This was definitely a fight that had me on edge the whole time. So, those are all the demons we've seen Tanjiro kill on screen so far. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more Demon Slayer content. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.